Hi friends, welcome to my channel and an unwrapping of the latest Total Tarot magazine. So let's get into it. It's a big one today because there's a binder in here. So every so often we get a binder. So just open it up. See what we have here. So yeah, we've got a binder. And that's the inside if you haven't seen them. They're nice and sturdy, really good. Okay, so let's put that to one side and have a look at the contents. So we have part 32, part 33. Let's open the package so we stop the rattling. Alrighty, so we've got our next tarot deck, which is this one, Tarot Draconis. We've got the sleeve for it, box. Oh look! Oh, is that not the cute? That looks so cute. Oh, this is going to be a lovely deck. Okay, so we've got the next two cards for the Art Nouveau. So there, here we go. Let's put this over to one side. I'm getting a bit cluttered here. Alrighty, so we have the 8 here. So the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. Beautiful, aren't they? I do love this gilding. So pretty. And this Art Nouveau style is it's just one of my totally favourite aesthetics. I love the Art Nouveau movement, the Art Deco movement, the arts and crafts movement, and the pre-Raphaelites. Those are my favourites. Anyway, so yeah, we were given the tarot bag for this deck. Oh, I can't remember what issue it was in, quite a long time ago. And of course the tuck box. So, put those away. That's the 8s complete. Because last time, in the last mailing, we had the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. So that's all the 8s complete. Getting to be quite a nice thick deck. I love the size of it as well. I mean, if you compare it to a Rider-Waite, which is what I want to do, you can see quite a bit bigger. Beautiful. I have got the normal size of that actually. It's just that in this collection, this is the size we get, and I've not seen this size actually for sale anywhere. So it is exclusive to the subscription. So it's nice, isn't it? Okay, let's put that away. And I presume the tarot bag's a bigger version as well, you know, to fit it. Alrighty. So let's have a little walkthrough of the cards first, I think. As usual, it's got the little, so easy to open, little tag there, and you just, so easy. I've really been looking forward to seeing this deck. I mean, the two sides never quite fit, do they, when they come separately? But I don't think it really matters much when, you know, once you're shuffling them and you're mixing them up. I think that just writes itself anyway. So we've got the front card and the back card. And then we have the deck. So, a fool is an egg. Wow. Right, I'm just going to sort them into their suits and then we'll go through them. Okay, so I've just sorted them into the suits, and the first thing that I've noticed is their colours. So for the major, they're like a gold colour. For the wands, they're reds. And for the, where are we going? Cups. Go cups next. They're like a blue. And then for the swords, we have this sort of a silvery type colour. And then for our pentacles, we're going with green. So you'll easily be able to identify which suit you're looking at. And also at the top and the bottom, they've got, so say for the Ace of Pentacles, they've got one for the Ace, and then they've got the suit glyph at the bottom of the card as well. So easily identifiable. So here we've got our full as an egg. I'm going to zoom right in. Okay. So yes, all potential there. And this egg is sitting on a whole heap of treasure there. Which is what dragons do, isn't it? That's their reason for being, isn't it? To actually protect the treasure. Okay. So we don't have a card title on here. Interestingly enough, for the majors, we just have a number. So let's just presume it goes the same way as a Rider-Waite-Smith, and this would be the Magician. And it's bringing all the colours from the different suits. So the Magician's, yeah, got access to all the different energies and elements. That's nice. So this would be our High Priestess, and here we've got Taurus, so we've got that book of knowledge that the High Priestess usually has, and we've still got the two columns here. Nice. This is our Empress. I'm trying to see what that glyph is there. Is it signature? Yeah. Okay, David Corsi. So that is the artist. Yeah, so on each one, actually, the artist signature there. Emperor. Well, these dragons have got very protective energy, haven't they? I've got to say, this is the back of the cards. They are gorgeous. I've been really I did say that, didn't I? I've been really looking forward to this deck. Hierophant. Even got the hand position, sort of. And the two pillars again. The Lovers. Wow. Chariot. So we've got two people in the Chariot this time. That's unusual. A Strength card, I presume. Sometimes 8 is Strength, sometimes it's Justice, but I'm guessing this is Strength. We've got a Sword in the Stone there. Actually, no, we haven't. I've just looked at it closer. This is a Justice card, look, because there is the Scales of Justice. So yeah, it's definitely Justice at 8. So here we have our Hermit, reading from the Book of Knowledge, maybe, by Firelight. The Wheel of Fortune. So just one dragon there that's wrapped its tail all the way around the wheel. It's quite different. So this must be Strength then. The Hanged one. Death. So we have a skeleton of a dragon in a cave, dark cave. Temperance. Devil, very red energy. Seems to be in a volcano. Sort of magma going on there. A tower. Dragon's wings are still intact, so they're able to fly away there. Star. Oh, that's beautiful. Moon. Sun. Judgment. Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? Playing the harp. Calling the dragons. And then finally that world card. That is so gorgeous. So that world card's brilliant, isn't it? Because that's the egg that's hatched in the Fool. So the Fool has now emerged from the egg. How wonderful is that? I don't see much fire coming from these images on the majors. Dragons aren't really breathing any fire, are they? Which I think is quite interesting. Apart from our friend here, the devil. Yes, no fire breathing going on. That's very interesting. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the cards side by side in their respective suits and we'll go through them that way. Have a little look at those energies. So yeah, so I'll zoom out a little bit and we can see them. Here we go. So yeah, like I said, each suit is colour coded, and at the bottom is the glyph of the suit and at the top is the number. And it looks like there must be a particular dragon assigned to the suit. Interestingly, the directions as well, just this pentacle one is in an opposite direction. Okay. Let's have a look at the twos. So only in the Two of Cups have we got the maiden, or a figure actually in the card other than the dragon. Threes. Yeah, that's a totally different image for a Three of Swords, isn't it? Very interesting. And here we are in collaboration. Okay. So you can see sort of the nods to the Rider-Waite-Smith in the images. They are quite dark. They're looking better on camera than they are in real life, to be fair. The camera's picking it up really nicely. Okay, fours. Yeah, it would seem our dragons are starting to grow now. This one looks quite young. This one is refusing the flaming cup being offered. So definite nods there to the Rider-Waite-Smith, especially there. Okay, so fives. It's quite a strong image. Six. Definite nostalgia there of what has been in the past. Wow. Oh. Yes, that really does speak to the Seven of Cups, doesn't it? And you can see all the options in the eye there. Yeah, definitely been provoked and defended against. 8. So it was a volcano. We can really see the elements on these two, can't we? That's sea, that raging sea there on the 8 of Cups. Nines. Interesting, on the Pentacles, the actual tree of life is represented there on the chest of the dragon. Tens. And then onto the quartz. Okay, so each of the pages are the maiden holding the suit emblem. Drinking from the cup, holding the wand, resting on the sword and gazing up at the pentacle. And they're all between the pillars. I like that, that's really nice that way. Oh look, it's the same with the knights. So each knight has got a horse and each is interacting with that element of the suit. And again, in between the pillars. Our queens. All seated. And all looking straight on. This one's very ready. Hot seat. And they're totally, actually, all of them are totally immersed in their element. Stunning. And then our kings, yes, all throned as well, yes. And once again, all in their element. Well, stunning. I am not at all disappointed with this deck. In fact, I am intrigued and excited to work with it. Okay, so that's the deck. Let's have a little look at the magazines. Put the deck in its box. It's sort of actually speaking to me of growth, that deck, you know. I mean, the dragons are going from an egg to a fully formed dragon throughout the suits by the looks of things. And then it's it's sort of, what's the word? It looks like it's narrating the growth of the partnership between the dragon and the human. That's what it looks like to me anyway. But until I delve a little deeper, that's just my first impressions. Okay, so let's have a little look at the magazines. So, our first one, I'm going to have to zoom out a bit again. Okay, so I've managed to fit the magazine on screen. Unfortunately, it will be at a bit of a low resolution, so if it looks a bit darker, that's the reason why. It's the only way I could actually get it all on screen. So anyway, part 32. So we have on the front cover an image from the deck. Beautiful. It's also one on the box as well, isn't it? I'll just turn 2 pages over together because it's new. Okay. So the first one is working with numbers, so numerology. Some simple techniques. Okay. So card 0 comes after card 21, so it's a circle. 21 is not the end. So you'll always have a card that comes before and one that goes after. So that's a before method. Okay. Here, birth card. So that's by reducing the numbers of your birth date down to a single number or a number below 21 for the major arcana. What's this? Progression. Intensity, polarity, progression and difference. So this is all to do with using numbers, I think, to choose cards and to see whether it's negative. Okay, so it looks like odd numbers are negatives and even numbers are positive. Okay, I'd have to have a read of that. That wasn't something I was aware of. Then we've got how the numbers work on the cards, so we can do it with difference. Okay, so the difference between these two is, no, the difference between these two is this one, numerologically. It's interesting. Advanced method, addition. So adding 1 and 5 together to make 6. Okay. And then the birth card. I actually knew a guy who used tarot, and he always, I don't know what method it was because I wasn't au fait with it at the time, but he would shuffle the cards, but he wouldn't choose random cards. He'd do it numerologically, and he'd count, and everything was counting. So whether it was, so maybe if he got, I don't know, maybe if he got the 8 of Cups, then he'd count out another 8 cards and then turn that card over to see what that one was. And then whatever the number was on that, then he'd turn over that number of cards to draw the next card. I think that's what he was doing from memory. It was a very long time ago. But yeah, there's quite a few different ways you can work with numbers and tarot. Very interesting. Okay, card in detail is the 10 of Cups. So we've got the symbols there. We've got a little key phrase and keywords and essential meanings. And then we've got it in different scenarios. So in our personal life, love, work and money. And if we're going to use it to ask questions. And then the psyche and the soul, so self-esteem, meditation and spirituality. And then as usual, we have examples from other decks. Here we've got some questions we can journal with based on that card, the lesson of the card. And then here we've got the Golden Dawn associations. Lord of perfected success. If you want to hear my take on the 10 of Cups, I'll link my Deacon video below because I go quite deep into the 10 of Cups. Alrighty, so as usual, they're teasing me with a Klimt. I'm going to have to buy that deck, you know, because I really want the gilded version. I think that really is on my wish list. Anyway, so Tarot of the Angels, which we're going to get in the next posting. Then we've got the Worth. So what else have we got? We've got the Fae Tarot, John Bauer, the Pagan, Universal Celtic, Neferati's, Lo Scarabeo, Thelema, and the Shaman. So, shall we pick one at random? So in Neferati's tarot it represents bliss, whereas in Universal Celtic it means we are part of nature. Tarot spreads. So this one's the Dragon's Breath. So it's a 5-card spread using the major arcana, and we use it to identify a neglected goal and understand how it can be achieved. And this is the layout. The dragon is a metaphor through which the querent can recognise their own desires, possibilities and fears. So how to prepare a position and how to read and interpret. And those are the questions for the layout. This is the synthesis. We have a bit about dragons in legend. It's a Chinese dragon, isn't it? Oh, there's 2. Yeah. Beautiful. It looks like they've used citrine there. Deck library is all about the tarot deck itself. The origins of the word. It means of the dragon. Tarot of the dragon. We have some little meanings here for each of the majors. Not a lot, there never is really. So let's look at the Hermit. Millennia of solitude are needed to study ancient knowledge and gain enlightenment. So if you remember, that Hermit was, the dragon was holding a book with a torch in the other hand to light it. The fire of the torch belongs to the progenitor of all dragons. Withdrawal into oneself leads to the truth, and the truth is silence. Deepest fears, the Arcana, the Queen of Wands here. Clad in armour and ready for battle, exudes power as holds up her dragon-topped staff. We've got another little layout we can try here. What's this for? Flight of the Dragon. So this is the dragon's wings. Fantasy journey. Okay. That's quite cool. Then we've got some meanings for the minors. So this is interesting. So the cups are called the dragons of the dawn, the pentacles the dragons of wealth, the wands are the dragons of the battle, and the swords are the dragons of twilight. You know, it's like a story, isn't it? You could actually make a whole narrative out of this. Interesting. Okay, visual reference, and then where to go if we want to practice. A little index really at the back. And then a preview of the next magazine. Talking of which, let's have a look at the next magazine. Oh, as I bash the camera. Alrighty. So we've got another image from the deck on the front of this one. And we're talking about the minor arcana because that's what would be in this issue if you were to buy it in the shops. Okay. Reading the court cards. Brilliant. So many people have problems reading the court cards. Not the easiest. So we're talking about receptivity with the page and the queen. So here, the page and the queen are receptive. The king and the knight are assertive. And we certainly see that in the imagery, don't we? So that's a way of understanding. Potential of the page and knight. Assertiveness of the knight and king. Experience of the king and queen. This is really good because it's actually tying them together differently, you know, in different combinations. So page is about learning, the knight is about action, the queen perceiving, and the king is all about control. And we've got a nice little chart here to help. And we can use the actual diagram to interpret the card. This is Tarot of the Elves, which is coming quite a long time ahead. Look, 52 and 53. I think we've got a little while to wait for that. Oh, a key to the court cards. Oh, I see. So this, yeah. So this is actually explaining how this works, which is totally unnecessary. This is totally unnecessary and a waste of 2 pages. I said this before. They did this before, didn't they, when we were going on to, what was it, we were going on to the minors or something, and it actually did the same thing. And you know, this could have been, oh well, it is what it is. This is what they've decided, so this is what it is. But basically this is just explaining this page here, which is self-explanatory anyway. It is a criticism of mine. Now, there we go. So we've got the symbols on the card, essential meanings, a little explanation. We've got the key phrase and some keywords. Okay. And obviously using the Radiant Wise to illustrate it, because that's the learning deck we were given with it. So what have we got here? So it tells you where the page is on that diagram, on that court diagram, and yeah, what it's about, emotional learning, some questions you can journal with, its meanings as usual in the different subjects, a small explanation, traditional meanings, reversed and upright, which they did with the other one. Actually, I didn't say that, did I? I was too busy looking at the glimpse. Physical persona. This is a really old way of reading the courts. A really old way. So, appearance of a court page is a young girl with light brown hair, fair skin and light eyes. Would be the Page of Cups. Traditionally, that's how it was seen. Interesting they've put that. It's not really so much used anymore, but anyway, you know, gender. So we've got, I would imagine, Worth, yes, Worth, Angels, Klimt. They seem to have the same ones at the top, don't they? They used to have the Marseille up the top. Now we've got it down here. And we have Universal Fantasy. That looks interesting. Oh, that looks really interesting. Look at the size of the fish in that one. The After Tarot with the fish has jumped out of the cups. Pagan Tarot, Fae Tarot, Tarot of the Pagan Cats, Marseille, Shaman, and Universal Celtic. So where should we go? Okay, let's go the Fae Tarot. Isn't that nice? It's got the fish in a bowl of water there. It says, represents kinship and affection, independent of form. So it's a bit different. So in the Universal Fantasy, it's the Daydreamer. My favourite page of cups is in the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. I love that. I love that depiction. Anyway. Okay, so we've got the example reading from the last issue, actually explained with cards. So you can follow along. And again, and synthesis, digressions in reading. Oh, as if we go off track. Mental associations lead to reflections that have nothing to do with the cards or the spread. Okay. Instinct versus reason, ID, ego and superego. So we've got light and shadow there, polarities. Okay, so that's if we are, again, straying away from the reading. If less experienced readers don't yet feel confident about how to recognise the representation of the eternal conflict between id and ego, instincts and reason in the cards, they can of course use intuitive reading. They should bear in mind though that the dragons represented in the cards might suggest passion, wild and chaotic emotions, or uncontrolled impulses. Who can control a dragon? And World of Tarot, so we're going back into history. Is this the second part? No, the third part. It's an Egyptian here. This is Thoth, an Egyptian god. The ancient Egyptian god of wisdom. Book of Thoth, 7x7. As say, dictionary definition, the 4 cardinal virtues. Interesting. I'll let you read that. Okay, so we've got a visual representation of the minor arcana, and it's very clear to see the colour coding, isn't it? Very clear on that. And then our index and our teaser of the next issue, which it will be the Tarot of the Angels. So we will have the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Wands from the Tarot Art Nouveau, or Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. We will get, in the first issue, we get the major arcana from the Tarot of the Angels, and then in the second mag we'll get the minors. We're going to learn about reading for strangers. The card in detail will be the Knight of Cups. Here we're going to look at prediction versus advice, and the card in detail will be the Queen of Cups. So yes, something more to look forward to. This has been my little walkthrough and look at part 32 and 33 of Total Tarot magazine with Tarot Draconis, major and minor cards. So I hope you enjoyed that, and until the next time, bye.